Okay, so I was procrastinating on YouTube one day and I stumbled upon a video about jobs. It talked about how oversaturated the job market is and how hard it is to find a job these days. And I'm going into grade 12 next year and I'm going to have to make some pretty important decisions in my life regarding jobs. And I don't want to make a decision that I regret. So I came up with an idea, and that is to do some research on these jobs and interview people so that I don't end up picking something that I regret, or at least I gain more insight. And I decided that, I'll start with the people that I already know. I'll ask them about their job, how they came to find their job, and if they like their job or not. And some advice in general. So let's go.
1. Interviewing those I know. What events led you to your job? How did you choose your major?
I saw that Freshco needed night shift workers back when they were 24 hours. And I said, hey, I need money. One thing led to another, and now I'm a supervisor there.
I decided to become a social worker because I was interested in the work that social workers do, because I am interested in building relationships with others.
Teaching's a second career for me, but I was always involved with kids. I coached minor sports. And somebody said to me one day that you're really good with kids. You should be a teacher. And I thought, yeah, I should.
It was actually my Spanish teacher who inspired me to continue studying Spanish and to pursue a career in education.
What led me into teaching, during my undergrad, I was fortunate enough to work as a teaching assistant. I really enjoyed that interactions of guiding folks along. I decided that was maybe something worth pursuing, was teaching.
I found my love of teaching in grad school, and I didn't really realize that I loved teaching until I stopped teaching.
I think I just always knew that I wanted to be a teacher from a young age.
Describe the day-to-day responsibilities of your job.
Looking at curriculum documents,
plan lessons,
daily lesson planning.
You have a plan for each class.
Counting the tills in the morning.
Doing attendance.
Plan units.
Marking.
Counting up any return receipts.
taking attendance.
Ensuring that the students are working.
A meeting with students, usually for concerns that they have related to their mental health and wellness.
Plan assessments.
Basically being a mentor to the rest of the teachers in the department.
Helping students if they need help.
Planning our courses.
Grading.
Just making sure that everybody is comfortable, safe, welcome.
What's the biggest misconception people have with your job?
That our job is easy.
That teachers don't work very hard.
That we do a lot of work during the school year that makes up for all that time we have off.
It is not.
What we do is only part-time work.
They don't realize maybe how much work we actually do.
Oh, they're stupid, because I see a lot of customers come in, they talk down to the cashiers just because they're high schoolers.
People think that it's about listening to people's problems all day, and I don't see it that way.
We work more hours in a school year than most people do.
I value helping people, learning, and spontaneity most in a career. Would your job have these things?
I think it can, yes.
100%.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So it's repetitive.
Helping people and spontaneity, sure. Learning things, yeah, I'd say you have to learn things.
Spontaneity. Each class is different.
You're always learning. There's always challenges. It's different from day to day.
Something as simple as smiling to a student on a day that maybe they're not feeling the greatest is a way of helping them.
Do you like your job? Why or why not?
Yes, I do love being a teacher.
I love my career.
I love teaching.
I really do enjoy my job.
I love being a
It
teacher.
can be a lot sometimes.
I love being a teacher. It's exactly where I need to be.
Some people's stupidity just kind of tests my patience.
I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't love it.
It has been the best decision that I've made.
Constantly regret not getting involved in it earlier. It's very rewarding as well.
2. Researching jobs.
After interviewing people that I know and gaining insight on how they came to find their job, I decided to investigate 9 jobs and interview people. I chose 3 jobs based on what people think I'd be good at.
If you had to pick a job or major for me,
Biology. 3 jobs based on what Google thinks fits me. And 3 jobs that I've considered doing in the past. Although I didn't exactly interview someone from each of the original jobs, in the end I interviewed 2 offers, a journalist, a wildlife professor, a bookkeeper, a librarian, a lawyer, an environmental physicist, and a biochemist.
3. Interviewing professionals. Have you always known this was what you wanted to do?
From about my teenage years, it's what I wanted to do.
I loved reading books early.
And then when I was in 8th grade, I read a book that made me it inspired me to want to write books.
I went to U of T for economics, but about halfway through that, I realized that that was something I didn't want to do, and I started my own blog.
I decided when I was about 10 that I wanted to be a wildlife biologist, and the inspiration from that actually comes from television.
I just interested in business, so that's why I started studying business, accounting, and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely didn't always want to be a librarian. When I was going into school, the job market for teaching didn't look great, so I kind of rerouted. It just made sense to transition.
Yeah, so actually I didn't always want to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a teacher when I was growing up. And then when I was around 15, I was having a conversation with somebody, and that person turned around and said, I don't think you should do law, it would be too hard for you. And I wanted to prove that person wrong.
For me, actually, the answer is no. So I wasn't really that interested in it until I landed a summer internship.
So I did not really think about becoming a pediatrician. I was kind of going back and forth in my thoughts between becoming a teacher or a doctor who cares for children. Turns out the latter happened eventually.
Job-specific questions. What does it take to become a published author?
It's pretty much straightforward. You write a book, you write the best book you can, you revise it until it's just truly, really wonderful, and then you go and try and find an agent.
Well, dedication, work ethic, and being too dumb to recognize how stacked the odds are.
What elements make up a good story?
Bringing out your voice. If I'm really curious about something and I'm really interested in it, I will write that story to the best of my ability.
What was your most exciting field experience?
When I was doing my research for my PhD, I was living in a remote area of Alaska. It was like very intensive experience that even Alaskans don't get to have.
What makes accounting interesting to you?
You know some perspective of other people's life, mainly on corporations.
How does funding affect the library?
Taxes goes towards funding the public library. The smaller the city that you're in, it's usually that belt gets tighter.
What's your biggest concern for climate change?
The people who are impacted the most by the changing climate are the people that are already in vulnerable situations.
How does your law firm stand out from other firms?
Running your own firm is a big responsibility. You also wear different hats. You're wearing the businessman hat, you're wearing the financial hat, and then you're wearing the marketing hat where you have to bring in the clients too.
How has your research helped you develop treatments for diseases?
I was one of the very few people that thought about the underlying metabolic process, that I identified one of the first 2 patients with a new disease that has not been known before in the world.
Does your job benefit society? If so, how?
I would like to think so. You could say things about society in a way that has meaning, but also is kind of camouflaged in an entertaining story.
I do what we do impacts wildlife, and that is important for human society.
Absolutely.
So I help people gain their home. I help people, expand their estate.
Yes, I think stories are absolutely a worthwhile and important thing in society.
It helps society in the sense a lot of people view sports as a way to disconnect.
Yeah, you sort of see the effects before and after directly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. The community and society in general gets so much out of having public libraries.
4. Picking a job. It has been 4 months since I started this documentary, and in these months I've interviewed many wonderful people. Their stories and experiences have helped me to gain a better understanding of what type of career I want to pursue. By interviewing them, I've learned many important things about jobs. The first being that life is really short, so you might as well pick a job that you love to do, even if it isn't the most high paying. Second, no job is perfect. Each job has its ups and downs and responsibilities. At times, you'll be frustrated with the job that you pick. Finally, I've learned that I don't have to decide what I want to do for the rest of my life in this exact moment. Almost everyone that I've interviewed has switched their trajectory at least once. I know that my original goal was to find out specifically what I wanted to do for a job, but guess what? I don't have an answer, because honestly, there's still so much out there that I want to explore, and I think that if I pick something now, it might not align with my goals in the future. However, I do have an idea of what to do, and at least for university. I want to apply to the life science program and go to Toronto or British Columbia for university. I think that this program works for me because a lot of the subjects that I'm taking and the jobs that I've explored fall under it. This program is also very broad, so I'll have the chance to explore many fields. And I believe that I can help a lot of people by studying in this program, since science and advancements in science have helped make the world a better place by solving many problems. Will I still be in this program in 5 years? Perhaps not, but at least right now I have some sense of direction.